August is here. Christmas is here, but we know it.
You're exactly right. We'll be singing Christmas carols on this show. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. We got a little extra day yesterday and enjoyed it. And Forrest Lee is here with all the news. And of course, one of the breaking news is that Troy wins. Troy wins. Tell us about it.
That's the first time that Post 70 out of Troy in American League Baseball has advanced to the World Series. Give you some information about it. Troy will play this Thursday. There's 8 teams throughout the country have made it to the World Series
of American Legion Baseball.
These kids are like 19 and under.
Mike wants to talk. Good morning. How you doing?
Hi, morning.
Troy wins. Troy wins, Mike.
Yeah, I read the Post 70 is going to the World Series, North Carolina.
Yes. Yeah. They've got 8 teams throughout the country. You have a Stars division and a Stripes division, and they'll play a round-robin tournament within each division. You got Virginia, Michigan, Nebraska, and Idaho on the Stars side of the playoffs. And then Troy is with Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, Camden, South Carolina, and League City, Texas. Troy Post 70 will play their first game this Thursday against Shrewsbury, Massachusetts at 1 o'clock. And then on Friday at 7 o'clock, Troy Post 70 will play Camden, South Carolina. And then on Sunday at 1 o'clock, Troy will play League City, Texas.
So it's just a round-robin type thing.
Right, and then what happens if 2 teams remain, here's the tiebreaker. Head-to-head competition between the teams is the first tiebreaker. Then the fewest runs allowed overall, then the most runs scored overall. And then if all that is tied, it's a coin flip. But if there's 3 teams that remain that say they beat one another, it's the fewest runs allowed, then the most runs scored overall, then a coin flip.
Oh, boy.
Congratulations to Ross Hickson and the Post 70 players.
And if you're out there, Billy or Ross, you're out there, we'd love to hear from you this morning and to tell us all about it.
Well,
Forrest, did they lose the game in Birmingham at all?
They did. Well, here's what happened. They won the first game 11-1 over St. Joe, Missouri. Then on game 2, they defeated Jefferson City, Missouri 12-5. One of those teams represented Kansas, I believe. Then on Friday, they defeated Tupelo, Mississippi 3-1. And then on Saturday, Gonzales, Louisiana defeated Troy 5-3. Well, by virtue of some kind of tiebreaker, Troy, there were 3 teams with 1 loss: Louisiana, Mississippi, and Troy Post 70. And by the tiebreaker, Troy advanced to the finals, and Gonzales, Louisiana defeated Tupelo, Mississippi 11-9 in a close game, and then Troy defeated Gonzales 6-2. And I've got some stats on that game.
Yeah, give us that game. That was the championship of the region. Game. Yeah.
The winning pitcher, Tucker Jackson of Houston Academy, he pitched 6 innings, allowed 2 earned runs, had 10 strikeouts.
Golly.
And a fellow by the name of Douglas Johnson of Wetumpka High School, he closed the game with 3 strikeouts for the save. Batting, Todd Clay from Auburn. He was 2 for 4 with 2 doubles and 1 RBI. Brooks Bryan, the Troy signee.
Brooks, yeah.
He was 2 for 3. He's from Opelika. He had 1 RBI. Tanner Taylor from Hedman was 2 of 4. Darrell Lee.
Yes, sir.
He hit a home run, had an RBI. He was 1 of 3.
All right, Darrell. How about it, buddy?
And Shelton Araro was 1 of 2 from Rehoboth with a double and an RBI. And here's some other.
So give us the rundown then.
All right, here's some more. Brooks Bryan, overall, he went 8 for 15.
Oh man!
He's the
And
Troy
he's
side.
coming to Troy he's a catcher, isn't he? Or do you
I
know?
believe that is Brian.
15.
I don't. He wears number 17. But here's what he did for the tournament: 8 of 15.
Breaking news, guys. Brooks Bryan is in the transfer portal. He is heading over.
Are you serious, Mike? You're low.
Like a kid is going 10 miles down the road to play for all.
Well, are you seeing that really?
I'm just kidding.
Oh gosh, thanks. But it could happen. I know that.
Well, he had a home run, a triple, 2 doubles, 9 RBIs, and 4 runs.
9 RBI.
Darrell Lee went 5 for 15. He had 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. He scored 7 runs and had a double.
Scored 7 runs.
Earlier in the tournament, New Brockton's Drew Cashion, who at one time played at Enterprise, I believe.
Yeah.
He's going to play at Enterprise State. He pitched a no-hitter and struck out a pair of batters. And Pike Libs pressed Jeff Coate. He pitched, I think, a couple of games and struck out 3 batters and gave up just 2 hits and no runs. This is the first World Series appearance in Troy post-70s.
That is fantastic.
A long history.
This is big time.
And here's another thing. The World Series begins this Thursday. Games will be broadcast both on ESPN and stream on ESPN Plus.
So we can watch it on TV.
What is that? But I found all my information. I went to the American Legion Baseball.com.
Okay.
And you can pull up the stats of all the games. I mean, it just live stats, pitch count, and everything. It's unbelievable. There's like 10 icons that you can click on.
Oh, man.
And that's how I kept up with it. And I called you a couple times.
Yeah.
Hey, we won.
Yeah. You're right.
When you called me last night, said, how'd we do? I said, they won.
Well, I hadn't heard from him, but I was worried about winning, where we won or not. And Ross, congrats.
Some of these guys are probably going to start college while they're up there playing, aren't they?
That's right.
Well, they start this Thursday, so my guess is they may start traveling today. Travel today.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. That's exactly right.
I haven't talked to Ross. I have not.
Billy, give us some information on it. Of course, Billy Hickson
I think I read where that game didn't finish till midnight.
Right.
didn't finish till midnight.
Well, let me do the roster one more time.
Yeah, do.
From Pike Liberal Arts, they have 3 representatives. Walker Stallworth, he's a pitcher. Darrell Lee, pitcher and plays outfield. Press Jeffcoat from Pike Liberal Arts. Walker goes to Southern Union. Darrell will go to Coastal Carolina, and Press will start college at Pensacola State Community College.
Wait a minute, who's going to Coastal Carolina?
Darrell Lee.
Darrell Lee's going to Coastal?
Coastal Alabama.
Oh, okay, Coastal Alabama, okay.
All right, Enterprise has 1, 2, 3, 4 kids. Trey Kavanaugh, Drew Shiver. He's uncommitted because I think he is a junior.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll be a senior.
Yeah, all right, let's see if we can
Hang on,
give him
Mike.
a hold. Could be Billy.
Welcome to Today in L.A. Welcome to
Great
Today
job.
in L.A.
Hey, Clark. Billy Hicks.
Hey, Mr.
Billy Hickson, won't you please come home? Hey, Billy, you're jumping up and down doing backward flips, aren't you?
Yeah, we're proud of that thing. Thank God. So, made history.
I know this. You sound like you just woke up because, Michael told me the last game went over to after 12 o'clock.
Sunday night. Long time ago.
Oh, boy. You
I was watching y'all, and Horace has done a good job researching all the stuff. He knows a lot more than I do. He's really about it.
yeah.
That American Legion Baseball.com or org, man, it's there. Those stats were unbelievable. And I was watching the games, I did see it live. I didn't buy that portion of it or subscribe, but I could see pitch by pitch. And when did they leave, Mr. Billy?
They got up at 8. Well, got up earlier than that, but they had a bus waiting on them at 8:30 the next morning at the hotel. So they never came home.
Oh, really? They just still up there?
Oh, so they're in North Carolina.
Well,
They went straight to Shelby the next morning. And they've got several things going on, banquets and whatnot. and until Thursday when they play.
Well, that's at Keeter Stadium in Shelby, North Carolina.
Wait a minute. Keeter.
Keeter Stadium in Shelby, North Carolina. And I like how they did the brackets. You're guaranteed 3 games. And,
Yes, sir, I do too.
And each game is like a Senior Citizens Day. You got a salute to academic achievement, Military Appreciation Day, Healthy Hero.
This is fabulous. Mr. J.B. Jenwright, bless your heart. All those days that you were trying to raise money for American Legion to keep everything going. Let me tell you this. Today on this show is Be Kind to Mr. J.B. Jenwright. He's no longer with us, but his boys are with us, Terry and Jerry, and they know all about it. But you understand, and Billy, you've understood this all along, and I know you did. You know, it was hard. It was hard work to keep the American Legion going. You know, especially financially. Is that right? In the early days. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I remember back from the days I never played it. I was gonna play, but travel was too much. I had too much other stuff to do. But anyway, I can remember back in those days, and it's come a long way.
Mr. Billy, excuse me. Who helps Ross in the coaching duties?
DJ Law is his assistant coach, and he played post 70 for a long time. He started as an 8th grader.
DJ who? The last
DJ
name?
From Rehoboth. And he is a loyal post 70 kid. He played as far back as when John Russian was coaching. And Rush was coaching also when DJ played. And he played at South Alabama. And he's through there now, and he wanted to come back and help him coach.
We missed his last name again. It cut out on us. DJ
Law.
Law. Yeah, DJ Law.
L-A-W.
Got it. DJ Law.
And,
was Russ able to go up there and be a part of it? I know he coached these guys over the years, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. He happened to be there in Hoover at a big tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Recruiting for Chipola.
I bet he was.
I see him play, and I was texting during the game some, and he was there full force.
Well, tell us about this. You know, I know it's so many things, but this kid, this catcher from Opelika, he just was awesome. 8 out of 15 and 9 RBIs. What a day! What a week for this young man going to Troy.
I think
Brooks. I've watched him play some during the summer. He's a really good catcher. He's left-handed batter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Troy loves left-handed batters.
That's right. Yeah.
He's he's special.
Did you see Troy? A lot of Troy people at the games. Troy University people watching.
I didn't actually go to the games.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. You were watching it where?
On the high school house that they had, that you could see it through your phone, or
you actually could watch the game on through your phone.
Right. Yeah.
Golly.
For that little deal for $10, and you can cancel anytime. But anyway, it was just those cameras set up. It was pretty good.
Well, that was great though to keep up with.
I'm guessing this is the first time ever they made it to the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
It is. They've been close. They've been in that championship game a few times and gotten beat. And the coaches had told Ross during the year that he had the team to win it this year. You know, he was keeping that quiet, so to speak. But they did. They've got a second team. They've got a lot of pitching and good defense, good hitting. They may lose everything they got a good shot.
Let me tell you this. They've already won the right to have a huge sign put up somewhere about this, the success of this American Legion team. To win the regional was enough. You know, beat Fort Smith, Arkansas, Jefferson City, Missouri, Pittsburgh, Kansas, Mississippi, Tupelo, Mississippi, St. Joseph, Missouri, Gonzales, and you. That's a huge baseball name, Louisiana. And then Shelby, and I'm sure the team that was the host from Shelby of Alabama was real good. And then the last one was Post 70 of Troy. And we swept through there in a tremendous tournament. It was a tremendous tournament. Wouldn't you say, Billy?
It was a lot of good competition. That Louisiana team, they've won it several times.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard they have a great program.
Well, that was a tough game that they and Mississippi played. You know, it was 11-9, I believe. They went 7 innings, I think.
That game got rain delayed for about an hour. They had to come back and start back up. I know it's always hard to do that. And
Gotta be a credit to Ross though to get these guys to gel so quickly and become a team. I mean, how long ago did this season start? What, about 3 or 4 weeks ago?
They started at June.
Yeah, Mike. They've been playing together for a while, Mike.
Well, when you got 20 players, you got to put your ego aside
And
because all of them are good.
Yeah.
And, 9 or 10.
Yeah, they have to cut down. I think they have to cut down to 18-man roster once the state starts. So he has to cut a few players right before they have to turn in their roster for the state tournament.
Yeah.
So what was their record? What was their record before they went to the state?
I want to say it was like 24-4.
Pretty good, wasn't it? Yeah.
And they play some good competition. They try to get these tournaments, these travel tournaments.
Do they play travel teams too? Do they run into some travel teams too?
Yeah, they can play anybody that wants to here in the summer.
Yeah.
What I like is he called out 11 pitchers when he was on the show last week. He's got 11 or 12 kids that can sling the ball when needed.
Yeah. Of course, you kept up with it and everything. Tell us in your words, Billy. From starting with this young catcher from Opelika that's already signed with Troy. Tell us about that.
Well, I mean, this year they reached out like they've not had kids from Opelika and Auburn area in the past, and their shortstop is from Auburn time, and it's just a tribute to what they've built over the years to get these kids and get them on to the next level, and they got kids now calling them to play, and they have good experience with them, and they're moving them on to the next level. So it's like Ross said on the show the other day, it's just it's kind of a snowball effect when you're successful and treat kids right, help them to the next level, and you get all these kids on the play. So it's I guess that's a big reason that they're where they're at now. They get building this program for years.
Yeah, you sure did.
Well, Mr. Billy, I call your sons the Kiwi boys because they are polished. I mean, they're polished gentlemen. How they carry themselves and how their presence. I mean, they're just polished young men. And your daughter, I mean, y'all hit 3 home runs. You and your wife.
But
we appreciate that. That's, I guess, one of the best compliments you can have. But they love this forward baseball and this post-70s. They put a lot of time in it. It's all about the money. They don't even get paid to do it. They try to keep it to a minimal fee for these kids. They're main goal is to get good kids on and off the field, and to get them to the next level. It's good enough to play there, and and not some of these places charge kids $2,500 to play
Oh, man.
for the summer, and I mean it's a money thing for them.
Sure.
And this is not that, and that's a lot of these parents, learn this.
Yeah.
That's another reason they get, good quality kids. I heard Russ or Ross say the other day that about when they go off on a trip, having a babysitter, but he doesn't have to babysit. These kids, they hand pick them for the most part, and they don't get kids that they think is gonna be a trouble. They say these kids anyway.
Well, I'll tell you this. You've taken the finest players from Opp High School, and Opp's got a great baseball program, and you've taken them from Rehoboth, who's got a great program, Headland, who has got a great program, almost won the state championship, Troy, who's got a great program, and Pike Liberal Arts, who's got a great program, and it just tickles me to see the success. And, and these kids, I asked you just a while ago, do the Major League Scouts or the college scouts, that these kids are being reviewed over and over by all the scouts, and their opportunity to play at a high-level college or even a professional team is much greater than it normally would be.
It is, especially the next step in this World Series.
Oh, boy, great exposure, wasn't it?
There'll be a lot of exposure there for them, and so it's just a good program all the way around. And it's funny, Rush has coached his team for several years, and didn't ever make it to the World Series. This is Ross's first year coaching the 19 years as the head coach. I'm sure there's going to be a little competitiveness of Ross telling Rush that he had to get him there.
The one thing that brought up the other day is the dynamics of having a 17 and under team
Yeah, that's what I was
and a
mentioning.
15 and under team.
Exactly.
And they're scattered throughout the southeastern part of the United States. So they're littered with kids from everywhere too. So it's like they're coming.
Exactly right. And
Feeder program.
Feeder. There you go.
all right. We hadn't even talked about this kid much. Tucker Jackson pitched brilliantly yesterday. Isn't that right?
Yeah, Tucker is he's a Pensacola State signee.
Same place that Drew.
Houston
Yeah.
Academy product.
Yeah.
But Tucker's he can throw it pretty good too. He's in the 90s right now.
Now, in fact, no, he hadn't pitched the whole tournament, has he?
He had closed games. He was actually determined MVP.
Was he really?
He won that championship game. Then he had come in a few games before. He had 2 saves.
Oh, what? He had what?
2 saves.
Two saves. Okay. Well,
He had 2 saves, and he won the championship game, and his ERA was .95.
oh, man. Where's he from? Where's his home?
He is in Dothan.
Houston Academy.
He's a Houston Academy.
Yes, sir.
He had a brother, Tanner Jackson, that played at Troy for a little while.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
This kid's already going to Pensacola then.
Yeah, he's going to Pensacola.
He will
And
impress
he's been
Jeff
a coach
Cody.
there several years.
Well, I know everybody's awfully proud of Walker Stahl, where, man, I think of what his family's gone through, losing their grandmother and all that, but Walker Stahl really pitched well, didn't he?
Yeah, Walker had a start, and of course won that game. And when you're a pitcher only, you don't get called on.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You got to answer the bell, and that's one thing they've learned through the years. The first year Rush made it to this regional, he had a good team, but he didn't have enough pitching in him.
Now, did Drew Cashion, he pitched the first game? Is that right?
He did.
He didn't pitch much, though, did he?
I think that's the only game he pitched.
And he pitched brilliantly in that game, didn't he?
Pitched a no-hitter.
Yeah, that's another thing they try to do in the summer program is, you know, these kids has already played in their high school. And they don't need to just wear and tear on their arm during the summer. So with the amount of pitchers he's got, he's not, you know, just pitch a spot.
Now, Cashion, is he from Enterprise or does he go to Enterprise State?
I want to say he's a New Brockton kid.
Okay, that's right, that New Brockton kid.
Yeah.
Hail to New Brockton this morning.
He played at Enterprise for a short period of time, but he graduated from New Brockton High School, and he'll be going to Enterprise State Community College.
Well, I'll tell you what.
He also plays third base.
They got a good one, didn't they?
Yeah, he's good. He's been his, I don't say ace, but he's thrown a lot of first games in tournaments.
And we open up this Thursday at 1 o'clock versus Shrewsbury, Massachusetts.
Yeah. Well, I want to finish with these pictures a second. Now, Press, Jeff Coat, Press really pitched well, and the Press is going to Pensacola to play his college ball.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also want to mention, now he came in 2 or 3 times during the tournament, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
Press is being used more as reliever.
Big, fine-looking reliever, too, coming out. Big, tall guy. Now, the other pitcher was a guy named Ray Jordan. He was a pitcher. Did he pitch much in the tournament?
I'm not sure.
Ray Jordan.
There's one kid that Ross mentioned the other day that had not walked about it.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. With that.
And he closed that game, the championship game the other night. He came in and he did just what he was supposed to do. He came in 3 strikes and got them out. And I don't think it was
Douglas Johnson from Wetumpka High School struck out all 3 batters.
Douglas Johnson. We go to Wetumpka High School. All right, but where will he be playing?
He's right there.
Southern Union.
Southern Union.
Yeah, going to a good program, no question. And that other kid I was thinking about is Trey Kavanaugh. Did he pitch much? He's a kid that's going to Southern Union.
I heard Trey got strep throat, and he had to go home for a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
Back with him now, see. But he did get to play a lot in that tournament.
I was just throwing out some of these pitchers because the pitching had to come through for Troy, and nobody really scored a lot of runs on them, did they?
No, they did. They held pretty much everybody in check.
Yeah. But back to
as far as the trophy goes, and if you get a banner in Troy, I mean, where would that even go? Where does that go?
I guess they take to the American League Hall. They've got a place downtown.
Yeah.
Behind Bird's Drugs.
How do they come up with the name Post 70?
That's where it was for years, Mike.
That's the name of the post that when the American Legion creates a organization within a town, they get a number assigned to them through the the American Legion Association. But that's a good question.
Before I get away from this, I've got this on my mind all the time about this pitching because I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pitchers on this staff. If you got 11 good pitchers on your staff, look out! You're gonna win a championship, and that's gonna be a huge advantage, I think, for Post 70 going into the World Series.
Yes, but all these teams are going to be built a lot like that.
Yeah, I got you. But
you're running against some, really good competition now. Everybody's matched up. It becomes now who makes the plays and who don't will be the winning team, the losing team.
And the great Darrell Lee just so quietly does his thing. He had big five hits in the series, and he scored 7 runs. And he's from Pike Liberal Arts School, and I know they're proud of him. But looking at the pitchers, and I'm going to just run down, Walker Stallworth's the pitcher, Darrell Lee's the pitcher, Press Jeffcoat's the pitcher, Trey Kavanaugh is the pitcher, Sheldon Aurora is the pitcher, Tanner Taylor is the pitcher, Ray Jordan's the pitcher, Tucker Jackson, he pitched the game brilliantly last night or the other night for the championship. And Douglas Johnson, we've talked about him, and Drew Cashion. 11 pitchers on that staff. That's pretty good. But
I haven't got to talk to Ross hardly any since he won. Just through text. I called him last night, and he texted me and said, I'm talking to an ESPN guy right now. I'll call you back. And I had gone to bed, but he called me back. And that he did text the other day and say he had woke up to 2 different texts from ESPN reporters or announcers wanting to talk with him to get all the information of his team and the rosters and stuff like that. But he's been decent and stuff like that.
The defending champion Idaho Falls is in it. They won it last year out of Idaho. Falls, Idaho.
Give us run that down. The teams in
Here are the teams: Chesapeake, Virginia, post 280; Midland, Michigan, post 16; Omaha, Nebraska, post 1; Idaho Falls, Idaho, 56. They're on the Stars side of the bracket. The Stripes side of the bracket includes Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, and that's who post 70 will open up with. Camden, South Carolina, post 17. League City, Texas, post 554. And Troy, Alabama, champion, post 70. They're on the Stripes side of the division.
Billy, in the history of American Legion Baseball, and ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about a national. Now, this is a national. This is just like going to the College World Series, just like it. We're going to the American Legion World Series, and don't you look at it just like that? And it is a huge, huge national tournament that Troy, Alabama is in. And whether they win a game, and we know they're going to play 3 games or more, but whether they win a game, they can always say, well, we went to the World Series. Hey, that team went to the World Series. And Mr. J.B. Jenwright, that your family, it's now the grandest thing that's ever happened to American Legion Baseball.
64 teams.
Where are they playing? They're playing in Shelby, North Carolina?
Keeter Stadium in Shelby, North Carolina.
Where is Shelby located?
Shelby, North Carolina is in western North Carolina. Elevation up around 1,000 feet. It's kind of near the mountains. It's a 6-hour drive.
But
yeah, it's right over the line.
What would be the name of the biggest town? Shelby, that sounds like a very big town.
I'm not
21,000 people.
You're about the size of Troy, yeah.
You know, there were 64 teams around the country in all these tournaments.
That's
now
right.
It's down to 8.
64 teams, it's down to 8, and Troy, Alabama is one of them, ladies and gentlemen. And today, I hope the city of Troy will recognize this as being a special day in our baseball lives. And I'll say this, and I'll brag and brag and brag and brag. We are Troy, Alabama, when it comes to baseball. It's very, very few places anywhere, I really believe, any locality, especially with 20,000 people, have been able to produce this kind of talent over and over and over. And I know some of these kids are from Ops, some of them are from Headland, some of them are from Rehoboth, and some of them are of Enterprise and wherever.
I mean, three guys are from Troy.
Yes, sir. And they're all good. And And they're 3 or 4?
3.
Okay. I love to brag. And if you do what this team did, it ain't bragging.
You know, I like the format of this tournament. You know, got them in 4 groups of 4, and then the runner-up plays the champion of the other one, and vice versa, and then that goes to the championship game. So you got a good show, you know, opportunities to win in different ways. So, you know, it's you can be, I guess, your champion and runner-up of each pool is still in the hunt for the championship.
I like that too. So
It's going to be great.
number 1 and number 2, and then one game at a time.
Well, let me tell you something, Billy. Let me tell you something. Hey, you find somebody else to pick the eggs or the chickens, and you make it a whole week of watching your boys lead this American Legion team to victory.
That means
we're gonna take a way to get there.
that means you got to win 5 games to win it all. You got to win 5 games.
And Mike,
Or you
I wish
can
I
win,
could go
you
up
can win
there
less than that.
cool
You don't
off.
have to win.
North Carolina probably won't be near as hot as
no, it's going to be nice, and it's going to be a trip to North Carolina this time of year. It's wonderful. It really is.
Well, you got to play 5 games. Not necessarily.
All right. So, what were you talking about now?
Like Mr. Billy said, if you are the runner-up or the champion of your division, you advance to the championship round, and that's Monday. That will be Monday night at 4 and 7 o'clock. The winner of the Stars will play the runner-up of the Stripes, and vice versa. And then the championship game is set for next Tuesday.
So it'll come down to a Final Four, then the final game. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And boy, I tell you, Billy, you spent a lot of time with those boys out in the pasture, and you taught them what to do, and you told them how people are supposed to act, and like Forrest said just a while ago, your boys know how to act. They really do. And you must have taught them that.
You know, I was reading an article, Billy, about Buck Showalter. He's, got the Mets, the hottest team in baseball, New York Mets. Of course, Showalter used to be the manager of the Yankees, Arizona, Baltimore Orioles. But I didn't realize Buck Showalter is born and raised in the Phoenix Springs and was a All-American at Chipola for 2 years. He's another Chipola guy.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't know that.
He went to Chipola, and of course, Showalter has a lot of. He lived down there.
Played two years at Chipola, and then went to Mississippi State. He played 1 year at Mississippi State, and has the highest batting average in Mississippi State baseball history, which is hard to believe. He hit .459 his junior year.
Oh boy!
Wow.
I never heard of him being an outstanding pro player. I've always heard of him being a coach.
He never made it to Major League. He played 9 years for the Yankees organization in the minors.
Yeah, then of course followed him. He's been a multi-million-dollar coach ever since. Boy, I tell you, I think of your mom and daddy too, Billy. I know how that they love to go out and watch you boys play and coach, and I know you've thought of them quite a bit during this time.
Yeah, I know they're proud. I love for Daddy B and Mama B here to go watch them, but they're not. But they're looking down on them.
Your dad, a lot of people don't realize it, played baseball in the early days of Troy baseball, and played with some well-known people on that Troy roster.
Yeah, on the Troy roster, but probably the most well-known person. A lot of people's not gonna know this. That he played with, and this was in the article. Johnny Roseboro.
Yeah, I remember Johnny Roseboro with the Dodgers.
But Daddy played with him, and they were good friends.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Roseboro played for the Dodgers. It was the New York, the Brooklyn Dodgers, and then later on, they moved to Los Angeles. I've got a baseball card of Bobby Roseboro. He was a backup to Roy Campanella. You know, he was a backup catcher to Roy Campanella.
He was in a bad car wreck.
Yeah, he was in a bad car like and was paralyzed for the rest of his life. But then after he was in that accident, Bobby Roseboro, Billy, you check me if I'm wrong, became the Brooklyn Dodgers shortstop. Catcher.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Hey, going back to the pitching of the last game, you know, Tucker Jackson struck out 10 batters.
Did he really?
And Douglas Johnson, who closed, he struck out 3. So out of the 21 batters post 70 faced, our pitcher struck out 13 of 21 batters.
Oh, man, that is fabulous. Now, after Tucker Jackson, who came in after Tucker?
Douglas Johnson from Wetumpka High School.
Right, Douglas Johnson from Wetumpka High School. And
struck out the side.
And then it just tickled me to see the depth. I should have said that right off the bat. The depth of this Troy pitching staff is awesome.
Yeah, it is. With that, I'm going to have to sneak out.
Don't do it now, Billy.
I got some cows trying to get out.
Well, congratulations.
You get back to making a living. Everything goes back to making a living, doesn't it?
It does. And I appreciate all y'all do for high school sports around the county and stuff. And I'll be checking in later on.
Well, let me end this conversation with you with one word. Pride. It's the pride of Troy on the line. It's the pride of Rehoboth and Headland and all these towns that are represented. I'll tell you another guy that's jumping up and down.
Where's Ceasefire? Is Ceasefire in all these places?
There in a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, I want to say this real quick. Like another guy that's got to be excited is this coach at Pensacola Junior College. He's got some guys coming that are just shut down pitchers, and that's going to be. And a lot of these coaches are excited about this going. I bet you almost all of them will be in this World Series, don't you think?
I don't know. Hey, if you score it, go.
Yeah. Well,
Dad, all these guys have already signed.
Oh, I know it. But these coaches, I'm thinking about these coaches. You're representing these guys.
There's one kid that's still in high school, and that's Drew Shiver from Enterprise.
Yeah, that's right.
He graduates this year. He's a senior.
That's right.
And
well, thank you so much, Billy. You're the best, man, and we're keep us in touch, man. Make us. And of course, that's Billy Hickson, the father of the two coaches, or two of the coaches, Ross and Russ.
And his daughter,
yeah, that's right.
We lost her in my childhood yesterday. We lost Sandy from Greece.
Yeah, that's right. But she could really sing it. She was a great.
Olivia Newton-John passed away yesterday at 73, and I sent a text out to my sisters, and I told her how, I told them both, I probably watched that movie 100 times because that's how much they loved it.
Well, let me tell you this. I lost a man that was very important in my life. His name was Pete Farrell. Pete Farrell was recreation director for the city of Troy for several years. And back when we had only one recreation director, we had only few balls to throw out in practice. But Pete Farrell did a wonderful job as a recreation director in Troy for several years. You know, of course, people like Bo Gaylord and the guys that followed him learned a lot from Pete Farrell because he was there when we didn't have quite the facilities, but he made things great for us. I'll tell you a couple of stories quickly about Pete Farrell. One day I was playing in my front yard. Pete Farrell lived right across the street from me. He lived in a nice new home on the then called White Drive, and he had a white fence around his house, and he was just a young guy, and I saw him out there playing with something, and I couldn't understand what he was doing, but he was putting face guards on football helmets. What he had done, he had put all the face masks on all the Pee Wee teams' uniforms, helmets. And I walked over there and I said, Coach Farrell, can I come over? And he said, yeah. And I said, I'm going to be playing on Knox Street. So he showed me these beautiful blue jerseys with a blue helmet, a white stripe down it. And that was going to be the team representing Knox Street. Then another team, I said, Coach, what is that? He said, well, that is Murphy Park's team. The Murphy Park's team had gold and blue jerseys and a gold helmet with a blue stripe down it. Then another helmet would be the College View, who had a team, and they had red and white jerseys and helmets. And then green uniforms had Brundage Street, representing Brundage Street. Those were the 4 Pee Wee teams, and that's what he was doing. He was putting this together. He brought uniforms through the recreation department. Everybody had a brand new uniform, and we had a great Pee Wee league thanks to Pete Farrell. He ran it all, but it was just so many things that he did so well. I think Pike Liberal Arts School has a lot, would say right now that Pete Farrell did a fabulous job as the headmaster over there for years. And
he was my principal at he was my principal at Cherry Street.
Many years at Cherry Street, and he did everything with pride and dignity. He didn't lose his cool. Very rarely did Pete Farrell ever lose his cool as a teacher and as an administrator. And
how old was Pete? Was Pete in his 90s?
91.
91. Perry Lee, Pete Farrell.
Tell about it. Tell it.
And his service will be this Thursday at 2 p.m. at the Chapel Dillard Funeral Home in Troy. Visitation's 1 hour before the service. So this Thursday, August the 11th, at 2 o'clock at the Chapel Dillard Funeral Home will be the services for Perry Lee Pete Farrell.
Let me tell you this. I went to work for him one time, and when I went looking for him, I said, "Where's Coach Farrell's office?" They said, "Well, he's not in his office." I said, "Well, where's Pete Farrell?" And he was down on his knees scrubbing the floors. He was the most hands-on, without any doubt, the most hands-on administrator and teacher in Troy or in the history of Pike County. He was a hands-on teacher and instructor. Let me throw a couple of other things, and I'll leave it alone. Another couple of things about him. I broke my collarbone when I was playing Pee Wee football in my front, and I broke my collarbone, and I was real upset. I had to spend the night in the hospital, and they put a cast on my shoulder all the way like this. And I had to spend the night at the hospital. And the next day, I was back home, and it was on a Friday night, and it was raining, and I was going to miss a high school football game. I hated to miss a Troy high school football game. Well, knocked on the door, and Pete Farrell walked in the door. It was a dark, rainy afternoon in Troy, and he brought me a football, and and he wished me well, and it was just so nice that he did that. One other thing, real quick. This is a fun thing. One afternoon, I was sitting at home, and Pete Farrell came over to my house, and he said, "We're going to Greenville, and would you like to go to the football game?" And I said, "Oh man," I was jumping up and down, and I said, "Yes, sir, Pete, I'd love to." And he was with 2 other friends of his, and we went off to Greenville for that game, for the Greenville High Troy game.
Wow!
All right, this was a game where Columbus Patman, a player for there was a goose. A big wild goose was flying across the field. It was heavy fog. You could hardly even tell any of it. And this goose kept running over, and over the huddling throughout the game. Everybody was saying what I was going to do with this guy. And in a minute, a guy named Columbus Patman, recently deceased, was a great football player from the Baptist Children's Home. He ran out of the huddle, reached up and grabbed the goose out of the air, and I'm not exaggerating, pulled him down and ran him over to the Troy bench and said, "Hey, this is my goose. This is my goose." Well, the Highway Patrol didn't think that was wise, so they took it away from him. But during that game, I watched Columbus Patman, a Troy player from the Baptist Children's Home, run out of the huddle and snatch a goose out of the air, and that goes the rest of the story. And that,
Raymond Leopard said he was hoping he could cook that goose.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, here we go. We got a caller.
Hello.
How y'all doing?
Good morning, Will. Welcome to Today in LA.
Will Matthews is calling in from Ozark this morning. Good morning, Will.
How you doing, Mike?
Doing great, my friend. I'm getting ready to come down there to see the Tams this week. Thanks to my buddy Bearfield.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a good concert. I love their music.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and it's free. It's free, and I've got tickets right here. And anybody that wants tickets to see the Tams, you can get them through me. And if you want to just pick them up at the door, I can handle that for you too.
And if you've never been to the Ozark Civic Center, it's fantastic.
I know it is. It's a very nice facility. And
what was going on at Trump yesterday at Mar-a-Lago? What's the FBI trying to do? They're trying to put him in jail. Is what they're trying to do. I'm gonna tell you something. The Democrats are ruthless, and they'll do anything in the world to keep him from being able to run for president in 2 years.
Well,
yeah, all the strong polls that everybody loves DeSantis in Florida, where I live, and everybody wants him to run for president. Trump is dominating in all the polls.
Oh yeah.
DeSantis is going to be his running mate, Michael, as vice president. And then
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This comes
4 years later.
This comes from a very knowledgeable guy, and of course,
Who's going to be on the other side of the ticket for the Democrats? Who'll be on that ticket?
Nobody knows. They say the governor of California, but who knows?
you know, isn't it a shame that this country can't come up with a decent candidate to run for office? You know, for president.
I agree. Got the AP poll out. Alabama's #1, and the coaches poll and the AP poll looks like second place votes are going to Ohio State and Georgia. Texas even received one first place vote, but Alabama, Nick Saban's #1 again to start the season. I mean, it's pretty phenomenal. How many times Alabama's been #1 and Saban was the head coach.
Yeah. Well,
other teams ranked in the SEC in the top 25. You got Texas A&M #7, Kentucky's #21, Arkansas 23, Ole Miss 24. Receiving votes is Tennessee, LSU, Auburn, Mississippi State, Florida, and South Carolina. Only SEC schools not receiving votes. Well, Missouri and Vanderbilt.
yeah. Georgia. Where was Georgia?
Those two teams are going to be horrible.
Georgia's probably 3.
Where was Georgia, Michael? You didn't mention them.
Oh yeah. Right.
And Ohio State is 2.
Yeah.
Is Notre Dame 5 or 6? Because that Ohio State and Notre Dame play right off the bat.
Yeah, I was just reading an article.
Probably going to be beat down by the Buckeyes.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to ask y'all, who do you think is the dark horse in the college football rankings?
I got a feeling Clemson's going to be a little bit better this year.
All right, Clemson's a little bit better. And who else?
Alabama's #1, Ohio State 2, Georgia 3, Clemson 4, Notre Dame 5, Michigan 6. I think Michigan will drop off. Texas A&M 7, Utah 8, Oklahoma #9, Baylor 10, Oklahoma State, I'm a man, I'm 40s 11. Oregon's 12. They'll have a loss to start the season against Georgia.
All right.
NC State's 13. When's the last time NC State's been ranked 13?
Yeah.
Michigan State 14, Southern Cal 15, Pittsburgh 16. They open the season against Neil Brown of West Virginia. Miami number 17, Texas 18, Wake Forest 19, Wisconsin 20, and then you got Kentucky 21, Cincinnati 22, Arkansas 23, Ole Miss Rebels 24, and then Houston 25.
You don't think Alabama's going to have any trouble at all against Texas when they play?
Let's beat Utah.
I don't think Texas will be able to throw a pass without having tremendous pressure.
Why do you say that?
Texas will have to run it down Alabama's throat, in my opinion, to win that game.
Let me tell you.
When you got Will Anderson and Dallas Turner coming off the end, I mean, can you imagine the amount of time that quarterback's going to have to get rid of the ball?
Yeah.
He's going to be running for his life.
They'll try to run straight at him, I'm sure.
What's wrong with the tight end, Latu? Is he injured?
Yeah, he got injured. I mean, everybody gets nicked up this time of year, it seems like. Other than that, I think Alabama's pretty healthy.
Oh, Jim Harbaugh come out in favor of players receiving compensation of the profit.
Yeah.
Profit sharing.
Well, we've got a lot more to talk about. We're going to go to our first and we'll be back in just a moment.
These teenage years can be tricky to navigate, especially when it comes to teaching my son about managing money. I'm thankful for helpful tools like Sidekick from Max. With Sidekick, requesting and rewarding money is easy. He can earn it by completing chores, making honor roll, or simply making a request from his own app. I love that I can easily monitor his purchases and set limits to help him learn to make smart choices with his spending, even on video games. Sidekick. Find it in your Max app.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them. Protect them.
Our wide selection of pre-owned vehicles looks so good, you'll think they're new.
So take the short drive to Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Ford, Troy, Alabama.
Yeah, you're right, a bunch of them, and that means there's 75 or more.
Well, Rick 73, I think Mike Gill 73.
Yeah. Back to our show, and of course we appreciate all of our sponsors this morning. Troy Bank and Trust Company, the only bank you'll ever need, and of course Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks, and their sale continues all day today, and it's one of the best sales of new and used cars and trucks you'll find anywhere is at Premier. Remember, nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Don't we have a rodeo this weekend?
We do have a rodeo, and we need to talk about it.
I don't have much information, and I'll try to get it for you tomorrow. But there's a rodeo.
Don't we have a football game?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
we-
Highland Home.
Highland Home,
Will
the
host
Flying
Tiger Larks
Squadron.
Patriots this Friday night in Highland Home, and the Ayrton Purple Cats will travel to Brantley to take on the Brantley Bulldogs. These are jamborees. So
Yeah.
that will be this Friday and they both will be aired on C Spire, Troy Cable. One will be on Channel 2, the other will be on Channel 17, I believe.
Oh, that's great.
So
that's great.
high school football is here.
That's
It's high
right.
school football week.
And Troy
I
Cable.
have to watch Highland home. I want to see that Falk kid that signed with Florida State, the big defense man, outside linebacker.
Yeah, they're loaded. And one other thing, come meet the Patriots is this Thursday night at Delaney Kirwan Stadium. And also come meet the Trojans is this Saturday evening at Memorial Stadium on the campus of Troy University. But football season starts
Yes, sir. Yes,
Friday.
sir. I used to be really involved in it.
Dad, how does Troy look?
Let me tell you something. Did I mention it earlier?
No, you did
All
not.
right. I want you to hear this. I want you to hear it. Right now, the most impressive looking player on Troy University's team, I mean this when I say this, is Tucker Killcrease from Brantley High School, is a good looking quarterback that can run. Hey, Mike, he can fly. And it reminds me of some of the great running quarterbacks. But I'll tell you who it reminds me of. Young man that's playing at Oregon now, Mike.
Oh, Nick.
Hey, he looks just like Nick's out there. He wears number 10. He looks big, a little bit bigger and stronger than Bo Nix. And Bo Nix.
Bo Nix is 6'3", 200.
All right, Mike. This guy's about that.
Barely 6 foot.
But Mike, you'll find that he's a little bit bigger than that. He is at least 6'2" or 6'3", and he weighs about 210, 215.
Troy on Troy's roster, he's only 6 foot. 200
Well, all right. You're trying to make your daddy look bad.
That's what the roster says.
Well, let me tell you this: he's bigger than that.
On a college roster, if he's 6 foot 220, he's really played 5'11" and a half.
Well, let me tell you this: he is a good-looking football player, one of the best-looking players on the field, in my opinion. Now, let me tell you, I've seen a lot of quarterbacks, a lot more than you have, and this kid is quick as a whistle and
I know
strong.
He can throw the ball.
Yes, sir, he can throw the ball. He's got a rocket
So
for arm.
you're telling me right now, out of all Troy's quarterbacks,
No.
1A school.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you right now, he's the number 3 quarterback in my mind. He's at least the number 3 quarterback. And then, I would start off
What
with.
about this kid from Utah?
Well, just so until they start playing. The scrimmage will be next Saturday, and we'll know a lot about all of them. But
What time
I'll go on record. If Tucker Killcrease at quarterback, this is not going to be.
I'm not going to say they started him, Mike. The starter is Gunnar Watson, and I would say the kid from California is number 2, and then I'd say the kid from Brantley is number 3.
So what you're saying as an 18 or 19-year-old, he's
What now?
He's going to beat out Wade Hawkins to get.
I think he has. I
He
think.
was pretty good in the spring.
Well, I tell you what. I think. Let me tell you something, Mike. And what I'm saying, this is the real deal. This kid is the real deal. And but I'm not saying I'm not going to say he's going to start, but he'll be a top 3 quarterback. And if you saw him, you'd say the same thing. I just happened to be with Coach Johnson, who for a long time coached at Luverne under that great coach, and that's his grandson. That's Coach Johnson, who coached at Luverne for years under Coach Glenn Daniels, and this guy is, you know him. Do you know Coach Johnson?
is it Travis?
No. But
Coach Johnson coached it.
no, I got it wrong on the grandpa. I can't remember his name right now.
Granddaddy of Beasley?
Yeah, but he was a long time assistant under the Luverne coach. But
Troy, I mean, loaded at running back. I've never seen him have this many running backs on the roster. How nobody transferred out at running back is unbelievable. I mean, they got 6 guys at running back right now.
I would say Troy's got 5 guys at quarterback. Right now, there's 5 solid players at quarterback.
something interesting at Troy. If you watch Kentucky the last few years, Will Levis was a really strong, athletic running quarterback, and occasionally hit the deep ball. Troy's real physical. I mean, Kentucky's real physical at running back too. So I feel like that's gonna be Troy's blueprint this year.
Well, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this, and hear this. Troy is very strong up front defensively. Very strong up front defensively. And they are very strong. I'm not going to put an exclamation mark next to it, but the offensive line has 10 good players that can play. They've got depth now. The offensive line, they brought in 6 through the portal from California. So right now they're strong up front, both offensive and defensive. I'm going to make a prediction in a second. And then they're strong at running back. Got a lot of running backs if they'll have patience and use your running backs. And then receivers, they've got, we talked about this other day, they got 5 receivers over 6'5" in height, 6'4", 6'5". So right now they got a lot of depth. That I hate to keep saying all these positive things.
Problem is they haven't put on helmets and shoulder pads.
All right, Mike, hear this, ladies and gentlemen, then I'm going to leave with it. Very, very good depth at running back and wide receivers. The only question marks I've got is in the secondary on defense. They're solid at linebacker. They're solid up front. I don't know about the corners. I don't know about the safeties. That's what I have concerns about. But other than that, the kicking game, they got a new guy out there, number 44, and he is he looks like a fabulous kicker. He looks like a fabulous kicker. And I don't know exactly how good
He's the kid that transferred in from North Carolina A&T.
That's right. He transferred from A&T and is going to be the kicker because he can kick the Dickens out of it. You've heard that phrase before.
Wayne Dickens.
But again, I know I sound real positive, but I am really positive about this Troy football team, coached by a hard-nosed, in-your-face coach. And let me tell you something. How many times
Drill sergeant.
This guy right here, Forrest, had been
Troy's already had 5 practices, which is hard to believe.
Yeah, I know it. And and this week they're going to practice in the afternoon. They've been practicing mostly in the mornings, and they look good. They're real enthusiastic, and the staff seems to be upbeat. And I hate to keep saying this. Watch out for Troy. Watch out for Troy. They're going to be good.
How's the Renfro kid fit in?
I don't know. I haven't really looked much at the kicker.
Well, I mean, you got the starting kicker coming back, Brooks Booth. He started last year and kicked pretty well, so I would imagine he'll be your starter.
And he might kick off. He kicks off real well.
Hey, I was going to mention to you on the side note, did you see where Buddy Starling, Buddy and David's mother passed away, Miss Mary?
Very sweet lady.
Her funeral will be Wednesday at Green Hills Funeral Home. Services are at 3 o'clock. Visitations 1 hour before. But Miss Mary Starling, she was married to the late Sidney Starling for about 50 years.
One of the great bankers in Troy history.
Buddy and David and a bunch of grand youngins
and let me tell you this, Buddy, and I've known him a long time, and I watched those grandsons of
Drew, Will.
Yeah, they were good, pretty good. They were all good athletes.
Let's see, Drew, Will.
Yeah, but of course we appreciate them, and our prayers and thoughts are with their family. What was the last one you said? Josh, okay. And of course, the other brother, led a lot of people. David hit a lot of home runs when he was in high school for Charles Henderson. He was a good athlete. Yeah.
Mike, y'all still planning to go to Oakville State, Troy?
I don't know. Right now, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna go. I wanted to
Alumni
go.
Association has a tent in the Grove.
Yeah, they do. It's going to be they've got a great situation in the Grove, and but right now I don't know if I'll be able to make it or not. But I'll be watching very closely.
It's going to be hot.
Yeah, and of course
Will it be on SEC Network?
on the SEC Network, 3:00 kick. And I let me tell you this right now: look out. That's all I can say. Look out, Ole Miss. Here we come. I'm not saying we're gonna beat them, but we're gonna give them a real ball game. What?
If you buy a point and get it up to 24.5, I would definitely do that. I think it's gonna be somewhere in the 20s. Ole Miss is gonna be electric on offense.
Who's gonna be the quarterback though, Mike? Who's gonna be a quarterback?
Well, I mean, they got the 5-star transfer from USC's former star quarterback, Jackson Dart's quarterback. Then they got one of the top running backs in the country transferred out of TCU to Ole Miss. They're gonna be really good on offense again. They got just such great wide receivers.
Yeah, Ole Miss will put 50 on Troy. So Troy can score 30 or 40.
Well, let me tell you this. Please let me have a piece of that you just said. That Ole Miss gonna put 50 on Troy. I'll jump off. I'll put maybe it might even put my house on it. I guarantee you, Ole Miss will not beat Troy. Will not let them score 50 points. I promise you that.
I remember one time recently in the last couple of years, UAB looked really good. They were playing Georgia.
Yeah.
God, they were getting like 28 points, and I bet on them, and Georgia beat them 55 to nothing. I mean,
If Troy was not so good up front defensively, they're really, really good up front defensively. I would agree with you, but this Troy team is real good on up front and at linebacker.
well, they go.
Well, I mean, the advantage Troy does have those that, Ole Miss is going to have a new offense coordinator, new defense coordinator, new quarterback, making his first start. So, I mean, there's going to be some growing pains for Ole Miss.
My question marks at Troy are in the secondary, both at corner and at safety. That's my question mark. But at linebacker and at the down defensive positions, Troy is maybe as good as they've ever been. And let me tell you this, I have watched them ever since. I don't know if any layman has ever watched as much Troy practice as I have. But what I'm saying, I just feel like this is a different Troy team up front. And that's up front on the defensive line and up front offensively too. Same way.
We're probably ahead of the curve defensively as opposed to offensively.
And what I'm saying.
Sad news here. Ray Perkins died a while back. It's now come out that he had the horrible degenerative brain disease (CTE) before he passed away. So Ray Perkins played for Alabama, played for pros for several years, and they have the same brain disease that killed Kenny Stabler as well.
I didn't know that. And what do they call this again?
Ray Perkins had CTE, Kenny Stabler had CTE, Paul Crane had CTE.
Is Paul Crane dead too? Is Paul Crane dead?
Yeah, he died in 2020.
Of course, he was.
He died in 2017. He had the CTE as well.
Who was that?
I sat next to Ray Perkins at the Alabama Clemson playoff game in the Sugar Bowl 2 or 3 years ago.
How was he then?
He was doing fine. I mean, he was in his 70s, I guess.
Yeah,
he
he was older than me.
He died at 79.
That's right.
Yeah, he would have probably been 75 when I sat next to him.
I'll tell you what.
50 somewhere.
I'll tell you what. Against Nebraska in the Sugar Bowl, when they didn't give out, when Alabama team went undefeated, from Kenny Stabler to Ray Perkins, that was a great combination, and they ran roughshod over Nebraska, just ran roughshod over them. Troy, that Alabama team went undefeated, but they gave the national championship to Michigan and Notre Dame. They tied for it. They tied, but That was a great Alabama team. That great receiver was Ray Perkins. And same way when they was a junior, and the quarterback was Steve Sloan to Ray Perkins.
Did Perkins play with Dennis Coleman?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was his other receiver, Dennis Holman.
Yeah, we went on Eli Gold helped as well. He's struggling, I think, in the hospital right now. Eli Gold will not call Alabama football games this year due to health issues. Chris Stewart will now be calling football.
And he'll do a great job. And
you know who gave Chris Stewart his start was the great Johnny Williams at Florida
That's right.
University. That's where Chris Stewart got his start on the radio.
Yeah,
Michael,
Who'll be the killer?
You know what's wrong with Ray Perkins? What's wrong with Eli Gold?
I've heard his heart issues, is what I've heard.
Is it? Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, NASCAR will miss him more than that. You know, he's the voice of NASCAR.
Of course, Alabama practicing, Auburn's practicing. Everybody's trying to figure out who in the world Auburn's quarterback's going to be. Should probably make an announcement here in the next couple of weeks and go with a guy. You know, right now you got TJ Finley, played last year, LSU transfer from a couple of years ago. Calzada, Texas A&M transfer, beat Alabama last year. Is now on Auburn's roster, and then the kid from Hoover High School that transferred in from Oregon is also competing for the Auburn starting quarterback job.
Okay, give us a rundown of other things going on. Now, school starts today at all public schools, Troy City schools, and y'all be careful. People riding down the road, and these kids trying to get to school.
I bet that traffic was something else.
I know exactly right.
Until they figured out how to get there.
And
of course, Pike County school started yesterday.
yeah, yesterday.
The city of Troy and all their schools will start today.
And they play.
I've got to go meet the first grade teacher here in about an hour.
Okay, good.
Here at Dune Lakes Elementary School. They start tomorrow.
Well, that's great. That's great. And I hope.
Looks like former Charles Finishing great head coach Mike Dean is stepping away from Killcrease of Evergreen. He's got health issues.
Oh,
Coach
man.
Dean stepping down right before the season.
I know it.
Not a good time to step away, but apparently he's had some ongoing health issues for a long time. You know, Dad and I used to do the coaches show when Charles Henderson played for the state championship that year, and Dean was an impressive coach of high school ball that I've ever met in my life. I mean, God knew football.
No question.
Of course, you know, didn't end the way at Charles Henderson I think a lot of, you know, people would have hoped for, but he's been commuting to Evergreen from Daphne every day.
Yeah,
so
that's where he's from,
back
yeah.
and forth every day has been wearing him out as well, but not good for those players to have a guy step down right before the season.
There was another